Absolutely bossing this game.
Modern-day batting greats taking on world-class bowlers, aided by fielders with breathtaking ability. This is going to be one of the most keenly contested games here at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2022. It's time for India versus England, and you are watching the Big Time Preview. A spot in the final is what India and England are battling for here in the second semi-final to be played at the Adelaide Oval. And to preview this game, I have with me Harsha Bhogle and Nasir Hussain. Now, let's get straight into it. India, they haven't had an ICC title to their name since 2013, but they've done well in group stages. As they come into this end of the competition, will that be playing on their mind?
I hope it isn't, but the numbers are telling a story. That when you look at bilateral rankings, India's always 1-2, 1-2, 3, thereabouts. Whether it was the 2015 World Cup or the 19 World Cup, almost unbeaten, getting into the knockout stage and then suddenly stumbling. So yeah, I mean, I hope they're not thinking along those lines, but the numbers are saying that is something they need to be concerned about.
And on the other side, there's a strong English setup with Jos Buttler at the helm. In his short captaincy career, would you say that this is the biggest challenge he's had to face yet?
It is. It's his first World Cup. He's taking over from one of the great white ball captains who's ever been, England's best white ball captain ever in Eoin Morgan, who was brilliant. But for me, not just his captaincy, I think Buttler with the bat. If Buttler with the bat fires, that is going to go a long way towards getting England to the final.
Speaking about batting, let's now talk about the number one T20 international batter at the moment, Suryakumar Yadav. He's entertained us through the course of this T20 World Cup. Of all the shots we've seen him play, especially the big ones, do we have a favourite?
Because if you saw that last game, they just kept bowling wider and wider and wider, and he kept hitting it from square leg to fine leg. That has to be his trademark shot. The way he goes so low, if you take a still of where he plays that shot, nobody would have a clue where the ball's gone.
And if you did, in England we have this spot the ball competition, if you did that around the world, no single person in the world would have worked out that ball went behind square about 50 rows back. It was here and his head was down. I was doing my prep for this game, and you send to all the stats guys, all the CricViz guys, everyone involved in the game, give me the strengths of Suryakumar Yadav. The WhatsApp was like that. All right, give me the weakness. Silence, a little bit against slow left arm spin, they said, but England don't have one. Dawson is a reserve, and it may be a reason, I don't know if they will, but it may be a reason they might bring in Chris Jordan. They've got a lot of batting. They may think of Chris Jordan death, bowling full and straight, because if you bowl short here you can be cut and pull as well. So I don't think you can counter him. The key is just trying to keep him quiet, which is very tricky.
Well, Suryakumar Yadav is a sure shot in that Indian 11, but there is going to be a selection dilemma for this semi-final. Is it going to be Rishabh Pant or Dinesh Karthik that dons the gloves? Ricky Ponting has his take. Let's listen in.
Look, I think if they're worried about not having that left-hander in the middle, which they'll probably go with Rishabh, and you think about England will have Moeen and Adil Rashid, so they might want to have that left-hander in the middle, which I think is probably why they played him yesterday. I think they played him to get him into the tournament, knowing that if they come up against England, they'll want that left-hander in the middle. I think they'll stick with Rishabh going into the semi-final.
You ask an Aussie, I'm not surprised what Ricky said. Aussies are in love with Rishabh Pant after what he did here in Sydney and in Brisbane. My gut feel is they will go with Rishabh because Adil Rashid is such a big part of England's bowling. It's not been their strength, but you look through the middle, Adil Rashid is the key for England.
If David Milan is not fit to play in time, then how do you plug that hole in the English 11?
I think they'll probably bring Phil Salt in. He's done very well in the last 6 months for England. The problem is he likes to open, and Hales and Buttler are playing very well at the top of the order. So it could be a straight swap, Salt coming in. In a big game like this, you don't want to make that change, but it's enforced. I would just go Salt for Milan, because in a big game I wouldn't want too many changes.
Everything on the line here. Who is walking away with this one? Harsha.
Hard or head. I think England's batting is a little too powerful at the moment. If the ball swings around a little bit, you get breakthroughs, then I think India's got a chance. Ideally, I think India bat first, counter England's weaker arms, put runs on the board. In that case, India. Nasir, why are you looking at me like that?
So for a second, I thought you were going to say England there. I nearly fell off my seat, to be honest. So
Get him away. Get him away. Get him away. Get him away.
With the way this T20 World Cup has gone, who really knows? It could be anyone in that final. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this, the Big Time Preview. You should download the T20 World Cup app for match news, highlights, team updates, and so much more. For now, thank you for joining us.
Harsha said England going to win.